morning, friends. I really want to have you here, and we are feeling very grateful to ourselves to have such a prolific writers between us, among us. You are here. Thank you so much, and you have been kind enough to be here. So really, very, very thank you. So I won't be taking much of your time. Cutting very short. I request you to please come and say a few words and have an interaction with the students.
What happens when things get spontaneous is the best. I am here in Delhi for one day, so I arrived yesterday, and I had some things, some meetings arranged already, but my friend here said, okay, come and talk to my students. I don't know him personally, but I'm sure he's a great teacher for you. And he was like, you have to come and say that, talk to my students and discuss literature and discuss research and discuss what they should do later with their lives and in their lives. Now, this is not my first time in India, this is the third time. I'm quite used to Indian scholars because I daily collaborate with them. I'm the editor-in-chief of 2 journals. I'm publishing a lot of Indian scholars and not only. So really, I want this meeting to be a kind of dialogue with you and not just my little speech. I have questions about what I'm going to suggest to you that will be even better and more profitable for me as well. Now, let's start with a simple question. My colleague here said that you all study literature and that you are going to become teachers, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I suppose you know Facebook and you're Facebook addicted?
Yes.
True, I'm also a Facebook addicted person. I recognize it. At a certain point, there was a post on Facebook saying something like, do your parents know that you follow literature? And what do they say about it? Is it a waste of time? Is it a waste of money? That was the post. And many students answered to that, yes, sometimes it is a waste of time. Yes, it is a waste of money. Parents invest in teaching us literature, but I don't know if they are very rewarded by the fact that we become teachers of English or teachers of literature. Now, how do you feel about that? Teachers of literature.
Yes, very much.
Are you honest about that? Okay. What do parents say?
Parents appreciate the efforts we put into it. Like literature has taught us so many things about religion, about nation, about feminism, about equality in gender roles, everything. And I personally have found positive change in me when I started literature. So literature helped me so much.
Okay. Have you ever confronted ideas like, if you teach literature, you are kind of out of this world, that you are not connected to reality, that you are not a practical person?
No.
Because this is a general impression. To have a profitable job is better than to dream. To have money is better than, to get into the ideas and get into abstract things and so on. Yes? Now, I myself teach literature, and I don't consider it a waste of time. And I don't consider that teaching literature is just getting into dreams. I don't consider it as being, getting deep into books and remaining there. Yes? So this is I think, as a teacher of literature, this is what I tell my students. Pay attention. If you teach this, and if you like it, it doesn't mean that you're an outcast. It means that you better understand the people that you're going to deal with. Yes, because if we're talking about literature, we are talking about creation, creativity, imagination, and if we know how this works, then we will have a better understanding of what is happening around us. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I think that if you're into literature, it's not a particular literary work. Yes, once you get connected to a writer, you get connected to his culture. You get connected to the environment in which he taught, in which he started to learn, in which he started to write. You get connected not only with, let's say, what's related to the literary and cultural field, but you also get connected to politics, to economy, to sociology. So basically, if we are talking about literature, we are not talking about a separate, distinct field. We are talking about being integrated into a whole world. Yes? So if you, for example, have a literary work and you have to analyze it, don't get stuck to the work as such, but open, by means of that work, the whole world, or the whole culture that that writer is offering to you. This is how I got to New India. So my specialization is post-colonial literature. I got my PhD in comparative literature with a focus on South Asian literature, mainly India. So when I started to approach this area, the only persons I knew were the writers. And I was reading what's, the Western canon of post-colonial literature. That was, in a way, misleading. Started digging into post-colonial literature, I started to read only what the literary criticism of the West offered to me. And I started to use all kind of abstract concepts from the Western literary criticism, mainly American and British. And when I was talking, for example, and when I was writing about South Asian writers, I was using just the vocabulary of the Western criticism, up to a point in which I said, what I'm doing is totally fake. What I'm doing is totally wrong. Because you cannot apply a given set of values or a given set of concepts from a different cultural space to another cultural space. So I started at that point inquiring, in fact, which is the country that I'm referring to? Where do these authors come from? And I was reading them back, Indian writers, and thinking, what about getting to know people exactly from the country they are coming from? And that was my best choice and the best switch I have made in approaching Indian literature. Because after that, or only after that, did I realize the fact that you have to dig into the whole cultural background, the mentality, the social conditions, economical conditions, even political conditions of that particular writer. And that's why I'm here the third time visiting India and feeling blessed that I get to know things by simply walking on the streets, by simply talking to people, and then realizing that many of the characters in the novels that I'm reading are expressions of real people and of real mentalities. And I no longer analyze, for example, characters based on things like identity, being hybrid, or marginalized, or whatever, abstract and non-prolific criticism or vocabulary criticism you can deal with. Some of my colleagues sometimes accuse me of being a Marxist literary critic. Because once you deal with social conditions, then you are accused of that. So if you analyze a character from his perspective, socio-economical position, they will say, this is Marxism. No, it is not. And my point is like this. Whenever you get into any literature you want, be so broad to go into everything that the culture and civilization is offering about that author. And in that moment, you will realize that teaching literature is not as easy as it seems. It's not as simple as it seems, and it requires you a lot of skills. I talked to my colleague here, and he said that you're preparing for the UGC exam, yes? And I kind of have the idea about what that is. And we discussed the fact that you have a test with multiple choice questions.
Yes.
Okay, do that, it's easy, okay? But don't stop there, because a test like that is just checking some knowledge, yes? To be a real teacher of English, you must go beyond that, and I'm sure that many of you go beyond a simple test, yes?
Yes.
So that's just standard checking of information or standard checking of some abilities. Okay? Now, I will talk to you about research and what you should do with that. If you don't have questions, you may have comments. So as I said,
It's all about you guys having a question.
The ma'am myself is a big god. Ma'am, I have heard that you have been studying on gender roles. So now please tell me something about that. What you studied there, gender roles.
Gender roles.
I'm very, I'm very curious to know that.
Gender studies is a whole field, okay? So gender studies is a totally different field from post-colonial studies, okay? But gender studies and post-colonial studies, for example, are related by the fact that they deal with marginalized categories of people, or people that don't get into the mainstream of the culture, right? Okay, now gender studies can be perceived differently depending on the country you're coming from, right?
Right.
Okay. We say that in Western countries, we don't have to deal with gender studies because men and women are equal, right? It's false. It's false. So don't take Western societies as being, that happy land where men and women are equal. No, it is not. It is the policy of Western states to say that, yes, men and women are equal. In fact, and in real life, we do have a lot of problems and a lot of prejudices related to how to treat women and their role in society. So don't expect that you go to USA, don't expect that you go to UK, and you will see, brave woman. No, women suffer from domestic violence as well. Women also suffer from societal differentiation. Okay? Maybe not in a very well-exposed way, but still, in the treatments, the subtle treatment, you will see discrimination of women. I don't know if you knew that. But that is a reality. And that is why gender studies are also very important in the Western countries. Yeah? I think gender studies is also important for the Eastern countries because probably problems are a little bit more evident in the Eastern countries. Yes? It doesn't matter the geographical location. What it matters is the attitude that we have in terms of treating women. And why not in terms of treating men? Gender studies is not just about women. Gender studies is about men as well. Because the way in which men are perceived, that is reflected in the way in which the woman is treated. Okay, so that's a basic knowledge of it. So if you want, I can recommend bibliographies and things like that, yes? But it is a developed field. Now gender studies gets connected with queer studies and problems of, sexuality and stuff like that, so it gets more specialized, but we get to the same problem. How man is perceived, how a woman is perceived. Obviously, this is reflected, or if you say gender studies, it is connected to literature. Once again, I come back to my statements that what you have in literature, you have in real life. And if you study, if you apply gender studies to novels, then it is because we do have problems in